Gosh dang it, Garrett. Welcome, devilish fiends, for this very delicious first episode where I know you're ready to have some big fun. I'm your cadet, and with me, as always, is my best school friend, Garrett. Say hi.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, how the stars align for February to host 2026's very first Friday the 13th. A month dedicated to everything love and gushy, shadowed by the haunting phenomenon that is a day of superstitions, foul play, and the inspiration for one of the largest horror franchises, responsible for putting the fear in camping and lakefront views. Do you know anything about the origin of Friday the 13th, Garrett?
No. Unfortunately, I know nothing. I'm not up to date on all the Friday the 13th knowledge. I wish I was, but unfortunately, you'd have to explain it to me.
That's good, because Google doesn't know either. So, so I did some digging, I did some researching, and from what I could find, there's a few theories of how Friday the 13th came to be so infamous, but we'll go over a few of the ones I thought were probably the most truthful, we'll say.
Okay.
So, there's one. King Philip of France apparently ordered the arrest and torture of 1,000 knights on Friday, October 13th in 1307. And many do consider this to be the one true origin of the curse.
What? Oh my god.
I know.
Jeez.
Which kind of seems like a reasonable thing to think that this is the day originating of the curse. I mean,
that makes a lot of sense and seems like, honestly, if we're speaking, the most truthful of them all and the most realistic.
But now let's go back a couple decades. Let's go back in time.
Boy.
Picture it. The Last Supper.
Oh.
And in walks Judas himself, who was deemed to be, you guessed it, the 13th guest at the supper.
Oh.
And let's not us forget, when was Jesus crucified? You guessed it right, on Friday, linking the number 13th and the day together.
Well, that has a lot of Christian origin to it, which I think would also make sense. That is so interesting.
I mean, it's not something you normally think about every day. Like,
no,
Jesus died on a Friday, and Judas was a 13th guest at the last. Like, it's one of those things where you don't really put it together. But with all the superstitions we know now, you kind of get paranoid about maybe that is why it is the way it is.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Judas. Thanks again.
Thank you again, Judas.
Not only did you kill Jesus, you also cursed the rest of us for life.
Good job, Judas.
But nay, maybe Judas isn't the only one to blame. Uh-oh. Let us go to the banquet in Valhalla, where Loki is considered to be, you got it again, the 13th guest, who also engineered a death just like Judas did, which led to darkness and mourning for all.
Oh, God.
So basically what I'm gathering is, in every century, there's always that one guy that ruins it for the next generation.
I guess we have to watch out for that one guy, you know?
Us mortals really do suffer from the power above.
Apparently.
So, because of Loki and Judas and the one King Philip of France, it is estimated that about 9 million is lost on every Friday the 13th because people are either too afraid to fly or make major financial decisions on that day. Because there is a self-fulfilling prophecy of bad luck.
Oh my god. See, I have never found that Friday the 13th, or any 13th day in general, has ever been one of bad luck. Maybe that's just me.
I think as a kid, you don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, we also grew up with the whole if you step on a crack, you break your mom's back, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I guess it runs deep. You know, I was very young, but we took a trip to Hawaii, and in the elevators, they don't have a 13th button. It skips the button. And often it'll just be 12 and then the 14th floor. They don't have a 13th floor.
That is very odd.
I remember being confused. I'm like, are they dumb? What happened? It's a superstition. That's what it was.
Well, I mean, speaking of superstitions, Friday the 13th has probably the most of any. We'll call it a holiday. Let's just say a holiday. You have the black cat one, where they say if a black cat crosses your path on Friday the 13th, it's considered a bad omen. Walking under a ladder disrupts a sacred triangle, inviting misfortune into your life. Shattering a broken mirror is believed to bring you 7 years of bad luck. The whole spilling the salt is unlucky. And some people even believe a child born on Friday the 13th will be unlucky.
Man, that poor child.
Just imagine you're this poor woman, 9 months pregnant. Nope, I gotta hold it in, doctor. I gotta hold him in.
Oh, my child will not be born on Friday the 13th!
Which, to think about it, there's maybe, 3, 4 Friday the 13th every year? Like, what are the odds that your child happens to come on Friday the 13th?
Yeah, I mean, I would know for odd birthdays.
For those who don't know, Garrett was born on a significant date that a lot of people think we joke when we say this, but Garrett, when is your birthday?
9/11, and the best part, 2001, and around the time that the second tower was hit by the plane.
Yes. So just think about it. Your life could be worse than Garrett's. So
you could be a bringer of bad omens, apparently, if you're born on Friday the 13th.
Yeah. So all I remember is us being in school, and anytime we would even try to celebrate your birthday at school, we would get yelled at. We would get a backlashing.
Yeah.
Do you know the one time you actually had to show someone your student ID to be like, I actually was born on September 11, 2001.
Yes, I do remember that. I also remember that one time my mother gave me a balloon and made me take it to school. And I had to go to class, and they showed the video of the Twin Towers. All the while, I had a balloon fucking attached to me that said "Happy Birthday." It's awful. It's like being born on a day where something bad happens, or like if somebody is superstitious about that day. It is horrible. People judge you, and it's like, why? What did I do?
If we want to be that person, Google, what is that one site where you can Google your birthday and it shows you all the things that happen on that day, and some people just have worse days than others, but like, again, it wasn't like you requested to be born on one of the most tragic days in United States history. Like,
yeah, it's not like I just went, hey, send me down there right now, see how funny it would be. Like, that's not what happened. I just happened to be born on that day. And it sucks that people see it in a manner of that I'm celebrating a horrible date. So we often celebrate on the weekend, or, I have a lot of birthdays close together in my family, so we all kind of just celebrate at once on a date that is not 9/11. Yeah,
I mean, that just goes to show that, maybe some days are just a day and a date is just a date.
Yeah.
I mean, a bit of a bit of a trigger warning. This next topic, there will be discussions of graphic content involving a real-life case incident, so if you do not want to be here for that, please feel free to skip. I don't think we consider ourselves to be a crime podcast, nor do we intend to glorify true crime stories. However, I wanted to talk about this one because it not only correlates with today's topic, which is Friday the 13th, but of course, if you want to learn more about this crime, please feel free to do it on your own time. Have you ever heard of the Lake Bodom murders?
No, I have not.
So, I hadn't either until I was researching for, Friday the 13th lore and stuff. It is stuff that really did happen, but there's a folklore behind it because what happened kind of mimics a bit of the original story of the film Friday the 13th. There were, unfortunately, a murder that occurred, and 3 teenagers lost their life, and 1 barely survived. This happened in Finland, which is truly bizarre in its own because there are certain countries that are known for being very peaceful, and I consider Finland to be very quiet. So that was a little jumping to me, but this all happened on June 4th, 1960. So not too long ago, but still. So similar to the original 1980 film, there was a group of young campers. I believe the 2 girls were like 15 and their boyfriends were 18. And they were looking to enjoy the beginnings of their summer by retreating to untouched sceneries of nature. The campers chose to set camp near the shores of the lake, where they would never have expected to be the target of a deadly danger incident. So, in the middle of the night, during what should have been a peaceful slumber, an unknown assailant began thrashing into their shared tent where the massacre began. Now,
oh my god.
Any form of harm to others is uncalled for, but the particular way this person chose to harm the teens was worth noting. So, one of the girlfriends suffered about 22 stab wounds, and she was found lying on top of the crime scene, and she was undressed from the waist down.
Oh my god.
But that's not the worst part. I know you're thinking, how could that get worse?
Yeah, well,
it turns out that she received the worst of her injuries, the stabbings. They were inflicted after she had already passed.
Oh my god.
And her boyfriend was dragged a few feet from the tent opening, and he sustained a concussion from blunt force trauma from a large rock that the assailant used on every teenager. And he suffered from a fractured jaw that didn't kill him, but what ended up killing him was a knife puncture through the head.
Oh my god.
And the other girl, she did not survive her injuries. I couldn't find too much information on how she passed, but I think we get the gist that she was probably hurt in a similar fashion.
Yeah.
So the only survivor, so he was actually also discovered outside the tent, struggling to breathe after he sustained similar injuries to the jaw and the cheekbones. And weirdly enough, not far from the crime scene were articles of clothing and personal belongings. But they never found the murder weapon, nor the murderer. Unfortunately, since he was the only survivor, Gusto was unfortunately looked at for the crime, and he was even tried for it. Luckily, though, he was found not guilty, and there were 3 other suspects that they kind of looked at, but to this day, there's still been no determination of who actually committed the murders, which is horrifying enough to think about, but what's even worse is that this attack appeared to be random, yet calculated. I mean, think if it was a robbery, the attacker could have slipped into the tent and taken the materials with ease. But this seems like an intensive attack to these teens. He attacked them in that moment rather than attack them for who they were. I mean, it's a theory that this was a driving influence for the eventual franchise of Friday the 13th, but it could all, again, be circumstantial.
Yeah. See, this whole situation is crazy to think about. Because, first off, someone has to be sick enough to commit a crime like this. To hurt these people who are out camping in the woods. Just minding their own fucking business. It's so horrifying. And the fact that it's a possibility that this could be what influences that movie. It's so terrifying. Is that the real photo? Oh my god.
Yeah, so for audio users only, I put up a picture of the tent that they found. But yeah, so they literally found the tent, and it looks almost like a bear was mauling the tent.
Yeah.
But that was the actual guy. I'm calling it, I'm assuming it is a guy. All the suspects they looked at were male, and I feel like you have to be pretty strong to commit these type of crimes, so I'm just gonna call him a guy. Literally, no pun intended, Jasoned himself into this tent to attack these teens. I mean...
Yeah. This is a horrifying scene to look at, and it's reminiscent of a bear that just went to town, like a grizzly bear. And honestly, that would have been my first assumption. It absolutely would have, if it weren't for the fact that some of the victims had sustained certain injuries by weapons, or, it just, looking at it, I would have thought this was a bear. But knowing the information, it's even worse.
I mean, yeah, even the fact that, from what I found, there were no other crimes similar to this after. Like, it looks like a one and done. Which is very odd. And not only that, I don't know if I mentioned, they found some of their personal belongings a few feet away from the tent, like their wallets, even some clothes. I know the survivor, they found one of his shoes with the like, it was very, almost, you could even say it was made to look like it was a robbery, but I don't know. I feel like this is way too graphic for a robbery gone wrong.
Yeah, this is not just a robbery gone wrong. This is obviously somebody had intent. Whether or not it was premeditated and the killer knew his victim or not, it is obviously a gruesome scene where it was definitely not just robbery. I mean, if it was robbery, you're more likely to survive.
And if your true goal is to take possessions, then why apply injury to a person that is already gone,
Yeah.
Like, if your true motive is to rob someone, why stay and inflict more pain on someone who's already passed?
Yeah.
So, another very creepily similar thing that kind of correlates with the film Friday the 13th is two of the suspects they looked at, they both were known to not... They kind of had, like, a prejudice against campers and young adults, like teens, like the movies.
Oh.
Jason and, spoiler if you haven't seen the original one, Jason's mother has, like, a bias against, teens and campers. So one of the suspects they looked at was a guy who was known to speak out against campers, and like he would even go as far as throwing rocks at kids.
Oh my god.
Like very violent towards them. He apparently had an alibi. Some things didn't add up and they kind of skipped over him. The next guy they looked at, same motive, didn't really like camper kids, was known to be very aggressive, spoke out loudly about it, but they never found anyone. But it's just, this seems like a very, very targeted type of crime.
It does. And I'm guessing, based on what you are giving me here, that they never nailed a person.
No, they had 3 pretty decent suspects, but they have not officially put a name to the case. I just feel bad for the poor survivor, how their first thought was to pin it on him.
Yeah. I guess, and here's my thing about that, is that I get it. He is the last one there. It is reminiscent to me of a case that I hold dear to me because it took place all of, I think, 30 minutes from me. And it is called the Yuba City 5. And it is about 5 disabled boys who go to a basketball game and never return home. And all of them are found dead, having frozen in the horrific snow. And there's only one who was never found. In fact, the working theory is that he was the last one alive. And a lot of people, their belief is that he killed them. And that it was his fault because he had a history of anger, which was, I believe, dependent on it was caused by his disability. And he had since improved and become a good person and had contributed to society. And everybody had said that he was a nice kid. He was a sweet boy and he would have never done anything to hurt those kids. But everyone looks to him because he was the only one alive, but they never found him. But I think they found like one of his shoes or something. Like he had given his shoes to one of the boys. And it's such a sad that we'll have to go over it another time. It was horrific.
I mean, to give some layaway, I mean, if I'm an officer or a detective, there are no such things as people who couldn't be suspects.
Yeah.
Like, for all we know, he could have been pulling a scream. You know, he was the attacker, but attacked himself to make him look like a victim.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't think that was the case. But I know, especially in modern times, knowing how things are, there's no one I wouldn't look at. Like, anyone could have done it. But I think, given the time and how violent the crime was, there was no evidence to suggest he was violent, no jealousy. He was a happy kid from what I could read. He was in a loving relationship. Like, this was truly a couple's getaway trip to start the summer. So,
yeah.
I definitely think it was one of the suspects they looked at. I think, unfortunately, back then, they didn't have what we have now. So you, unfortunately, can only go by what people say. You know, suspect number 1, the violent guy, said he had an alibi and his wife covered for him. But I guess, I don't know if it was his deathbed or her deathbed. She openly admitted that she didn't know where he was that night. And she felt threatened and lied about his whereabouts, but was too scared to say something. But again, it could be one of those he said, she said things, but we just don't know. But I definitely think it was one of the 3 suspects that they had.
Yeah, there's just no way. It was the poor kid who happened to be alive, the one remaining alive victim. There's no way. And it just seems that something happened in which they just never found him, you know? Like, we obviously, I feel like there are clear ways to look about it and find and deduct who we might think it is. But in this case, it's just that they closed it because oh my god.
I mean,
I'm a little speechless because
the person went to lengths as to hide the murder weapon, even the rock that I'm talking, not like they're by a lake, so you know how giant those rocks are.
Yeah.
That person went to the lengths of hiding the knife and that giant rock just so he couldn't be linked back.
Yeah. It's definitely somebody, and it's not that kid. And, like, I get that they had to interview him and that he was a suspect. I understand that. It's just so awful. He lost all his friends to then be put in the spotlight and questioned like a criminal.
I mean, yeah, they truly, like, they were gunning up on this poor kid. Like, they went as far as to, like, try him. Like, it was,
like, that's the craziest part about all this, is that out of all of the people, him, they decided to try. I'm sorry. What?
I know,
just doesn't
I know.
make any sense, and I feel like in this case something could have been done, but it just, to put the blame on this poor kid was not the right way.
No, and if this would have happened in any later decade, it probably would have been sold a lot sooner. He probably would have been, you know, excused from everything, but I think it's going to be, unfortunately, one of those cases that just never gets solved. But I found it interesting that they kept the tent preserved. Like,
yeah,
yeah, they still have it. I think it's in a museum.
What?
Obviously, it's like folded down and kept in some kind of specialized glass. But yeah, they still have it.
Oh my god.
But
see, I didn't realize that was still kept in a museum.
Maybe they thought someday they would be able to find something. I mean, with the advancements we have today, you know,
I guess
so many cases are getting solved.
It's just crazy that they just put it in a museum, though, like for show and tell.
I think I don't know. I don't remember where it's at, but I just know that they still have it. I don't actually know if it's on display. I just saw a picture of it in like a case. You put like a sarcophagus. How do you say it?
Okay, I can't say it either.
Yeah,
we both can't pronounce it, but that's okay.
Yeah, sorry, English. Where you would put like a mummy in, like something like that, to preserve it, but
it's, yeah, that would make sense. Sarcophagus?
I think yes, that's exactly how you said
I think I got it.
Yeah, you got it. I'm glad one of us knows English.
Oh boy.
Of course, speaking of Friday the 13th, have you seen all the movies? I know I got you to watch the second one last summer.
Yeah.
That was because we were in a cabin in summer by a lake.
Yeah.
But have you seen all of them, or?
No, in fact, I think I've only seen 2, but it's been a while since I've seen the movies themselves. I will say I have seen a lot of the Halloween movies. um, I'm not much of a movie watcher anymore. I used to be like super into movies and like sit down. Now I'm more into books. That's kind of my thing.
Well, funny enough you say that. Did you know that Friday the 13th was originally a book?
Really?
Yeah, the story was written in a novel that later got adapted into a film.
See, now I have to go read the book, and I'm gonna go to any bookstore near me and pick up Friday the 13th.
I don't remember if the book's actually called that or not. I just know that the author took a lot of inspiration from like Stephen King books.
Yeah.
As you can really see. But yeah, it's very funny how things connect in this holiday that probably had no interaction, but
yeah. And it's so interesting how it all kind of comes full circle.
It is. Like, it really is a day of circumstances, and
it's a small world. I'll say that much. It's a small world, and there's a lot to learn. And I think, especially for both of us, we like spooky things. We like the scarier side of life. We like to learn about the scarier side of life. And I think that's what makes us perfect.
Yeah. But I know around the time all the original Friday the 13th movies came out, they were very like, this is horror. Like, this scares people. I think our generation, they're more comedic to us, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Like, I know when we watched the second one, we kept making fun of the camper's decisions and like, who
like,
the hell goes into the woods in the middle of the night when they hear bushes rustling, like, stuff like that. But the thought is still scary. Like, whenever we go to the cabin in the woods, even now, the first thing we always say is, this is like out of a horror movie. So the scare still lives up, but it is quite funny to watch these characters do the stupidest things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you have a favorite Friday the 13th movie, or do you just...
I have a lot of favorite horror movies in general. They may not be Friday the 13th related.
Well, then why are we talking about...
I think it all correlates in a way. It's scary. But some of my favorites were, like, my first horror movie was Lights Out. That was the movie about when you turn off the lights, there was that creepy lady, shadow lady that chased you. It was a good movie and I liked it. Some people thought it was terrible, but I thought the concept was really cool. And I think that was also when I got into like The Purge, which was another interesting concept, which I guess in its own way has something to do with the date, and that date keeps coming around, and the date kind of brings horrific stuff upon people.
It's not a hot take to me, but in the horror franchise universe, it's a hot take. So, hear me out. You probably won't get this because you haven't seen all the films, but I personally... Okay, so out of all the Friday the 13th movies, of course, number one is number one to me. Number two is Friday the 13th 2. And then my third favorite, and probably the one I watch the most, is Jason X.
Oh my god.
And I will tell you why, and why I will defend it, even though it's ranked number 8 out of all of them.
Yeah.
It is the definition of camp. And I'll tell you why. Guess where they are?
Oh.
Space.
Oh my god.
Yes. Jason goes to space, okay?
You know what? Can we count that as cosmic horror?
Yeah, I guess in a weird way we can.
You know
But
what? Speaking of cosmic horror, has Iron Lung has come out.
I have not seen it.
It's Markiplier's movie, which is nice.
I didn't notice that until I saw someone do a review.
I personally have not watched it yet.
I want to, but
it is very exciting, and I think that maybe we could review it once we both watch it.
Oh yeah.
That would be fun. Anyways, I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Why is that Friday the 13th movie your favorite?
It's so iconic to me. I love camp. It is the definition of camp. There's just so many funny one-liners. The acting is just that sweet spot of bad, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like I will have to get your reaction to like to watching it because it is so good, but it has some of the worst reviews ever.
Oh no.
But I get it, like for that type of franchise you expect something.
Yeah.
And I think some people thought that they were taking the piss out of it. But sometimes you just have to learn to enjoy a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I have this rule that applies to any franchise. After a while, when we start making more than 3, don't expect the same quality from the originals.
Yeah.
So,
rule of 3s.
Yes, and I argue to this day that is applied for everything because...
Yeah. I'm going to apply that to, like, the Ice Age movies. That's so off topic.
Oh my god.
But, like, think about it! Don't judge me! Don't fucking judge me. The first 3 Ice Age movies were the best, okay? What is it? Ice Age, and then it was, Meltdown, and then Dawn of the Dinosaurs. It ends at Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Trust me. And you know what? Kung Fu Panda 2.
Okay, I did not see the newer Kung Fu Panda because I honestly thought the trailer was a joke. Like, no. That's like, we live in a world where we have to, like, fact check things because there are so many, like, AI trailers nowadays that sometimes I don't know what's real and what's not. And I generally thought that was, like, a fan-made thing. I did not know it was real until I saw the red carpet picture.
You know, it was real. But personally, out of all the movies, gonna be honest, first one, second, are the best, and then the third one's okay, but the first 2 are great. But again, rule of 3s, the first 3 movies, they're good. And then for some reason, when it goes to the 4th one, it just dips in quality. It's like, okay, what happened?
I think the problem is that once studios recognize a franchise with a dedicated fan base, they know they can keep milking that cow.
Yeah.
Like, it's with any franchise, and there are some that I am a victim to as well, and there are some where I'm like, I could have gone the rest of my life without these additional films. Like, I love the Scream franchise.
Yes.
I love it. I do think there were some good ones even after the 3rd one. But the newer ones, I just...
You know they're coming out with another one.
I know, I saw.
I'm actually really excited.
I
I'm
am,
hoping
because
for the
we
best.
have Sydney and Gail again, one of the best iconic duos ever.
Yes.
But who the heck is going to be the killer or killers this time? Like, who do we have left?
Wait,
is this like Stu's grandmother coming back to kill Sydney? Like, I
think it might just be, is it like a remake or?
So the killer is now coming after Sydney's daughter.
Okay.
To get back at Sydney. But again, it's like, who else is left to do? I swear, if it's just some random person, or like, I'm gonna lose it.
Because, okay, so for some reason I thought I heard who was going to be playing Ghostface, but I was wrong.
I would hope not, because then that spoils the whole film.
Yeah, I was like, I thought I heard who. Because I guess I was thinking that this was like a remake. But
no, it's
I'm
like
wrong.
A continuation.
Okay. Listen, I'm not
That's
good
what
at this.
I don't understand, because who's left? Like,
who's left to murder? Is it going to be a whole new group of people? This is like the Final Destination films. You know? It's a whole new group of people, but it's the same fucking concept over and over again. Yeah. Except for this last movie, I guess. I've never seen it. But
Bloodlines?
Yeah.
That one was good because it actually had a concept. It had a story.
It did? Okay.
Yes. It wasn't just a whole bunch of new deaths. It actually had a good story.
Like, oh my god, look! The plane is falling out of the sky! What do we do? And then everyone dies again.
No, there's actually a plot to follow.
Okay, so it's not just, oh my god, I had a vision. Let's all get off or get out of here.
It's not like that, no.
Okay, then I guess I have to watch it because I've never seen it.
Yeah, it had a good story, which I'm glad. But yeah, I don't...
See, I had all the Final Destination films on DVD. I had a lot of horror movies on DVD. I'm obsessed with having DVDs and books, like physical copies of things. Maybe that's bad, but like I prefer physical copies. I have a DVD player, and I've since lost those copies. I don't have them anymore. I think they got stolen or something. I have no idea what happened to them. I think somewhere in my storage unit I have a few other horror movie copies.
No, I mean, we both are huge physical, like, media consumers. I mean, we still went to the video store.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever we could in Tahoe, but yeah, stuff like that just doesn't really exist anymore. Like,
no, and it's sad.
But what's funny is that it's coming back, but do you notice how expensive it's gotten? Like,
yeah,
the other day I was trying to find a movie that for the life of me I could not remember its name, and then I found like a little section on eBay that just had a bunch of old physical forms of like media, like CDs, like DVDs, and like there were some that were like going for like 30, 50, 60, 80, like,
oh my god.
Meanwhile, I go to Books A Million and I could get like a whole I could get a whole stack of DVDs and not even spend like $20. Like,
man, Books A Million has DVDs.
Books A Million has everything. They have cassettes, DVDs, vinyls. So guys, try to go to your local Books A Million before you go on eBay and spend like $35 on Final Destination film.
Oh my god. You know what? Speaking of Books A Million, if we're going to start talking about books and physical copies, I am so excited for Nevessa Allen's Gaemon, which is by the way, the third in her trilogy, which started with Lights Out.
Oh, that's right.
Loved that book. It was great. It was actually my introduction into dark romance. And I loved dipping my toes in. It was nice. Mwah! Chef's kiss.
And now you're head diving into dark romance books.
Yes. And I actually went on Books A Million. This is where it all comes for full circle. I ordered a signed copy of Gaemon, and it's meant to come sometime, I think, in March or April when it fully drops. I'm so excited to have that.
I don't think people realize how big this genre has gotten. Like, yeah. I know there's a lot of jokes about it. Like, we even joke about it. But at the end of the day, this is like probably for the past, maybe 2 to 3 years, the most popular type of book genre.
Yeah.
Like, it is just taking over, like, everyone, basically. Like, you don't have to belong to a certain category to enjoy these types of books, but, like, everyone's on it, like.
Oh, yeah. And it's become super popular. Like, if you go into any romance section in a Barnes & Noble's, a Books A Million, or an Ollie's, I'm mentioning Ollie's. Any bookstore, you go into the romance section, you're gonna find a lot of dark romance. It is taking over don't get me wrong, I love fluffy romance. It's great. It's perfect. But I love my dark romance. That's where you're gonna find me and my books. They're all gonna be dark romance or fantasy romance. Love it.
I mean, it's just the escapism of it all. Like,
yeah.
And like, sometimes people want things that they know they won't or can't have, you know? Like, sometimes I think the big misconception that I've noticed from some people is, like, girls or anyone really read what they want. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes that is, but sometimes you just want to read something that won't ever happen to you. Do you know how many people, when, like, Harry Potter came out, how many people want to get that letter to Hogwarts?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people after Twilight wanted just 2 guys fighting over her, one belonging to the knights and the other to vampire? Like,
yeah,
people want things that they can't have but can dream of and escape to. Like,
and you know what?
So this is no different.
Oh yeah, no, and that's what I love about, especially the fantasy romance, or I guess what is called, romantasy now, genres. I love those. But speaking of the things that you cannot have, I have a book review.
Oh, okay.
And it correlates a lot to our theme of dark and bad omens, which is Sold to Keep. And I actually really love this book. If you are into monster romance, this is the book for you. And it's a series. It's an 8-book series. And I'm currently about 4 books in. And I have to say, this is, I think, the best series I've read in a while.
I mean, just looking at the cover page alone.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna read the excerpt from the back here.
Please do.
It's all Rhea ever wanted was freedom, known as a harbinger of bad omens and blamed for demons eating her family. Rhea is shunned by her entire village. When the next offering is due and the monstrous Duskwalker is seen heading their way, her village offers her an impossible choice: be thrown into the prison cells or allow herself to be sacrificed to the faceless monster. However, he is not what he seems. His skull face and glowing eyes are ethereal, and she finds herself unwittingly enchanted by him. All Orpheus ever wanted was a companion. Each decade, in exchange for protection ward from the demons that terrorized the world, Orpheus takes a human offering to the Vale, the place he lives and the home of the demons. The brief companionship does little to ease him of his loneliness, and their lives were always, unfortunately, cut short. He thought it was hopeless in Denver until he met her. She's not afraid of him, and his insatiable desire deepens with every moment of her presence. But will Orpheus be able to convince Freya to stay before she's lost to him forever?
I mean, who doesn't want that? I mean...
Like, honestly, it is... By the way, I read this book within 2 days, and it's like 500-something pages, I think. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, 513 it says on the on the thing. And it's great. Orpheus, I think, by far, was my favorite character. And, like, I feel for him. I really do.
You feel for him, or you want to feel him?
Don't. Hey,
I mean...
don't judge me. Look at this face, okay? This book is very smutty. This picture really puts into aspect of, like, the level of spice you are jumping into. Like, you need to prepare yourself. Like, I'm gonna give a full warning here. This is very smutty. It's also, it made me cry at the end. But that's you when you know it's so of good. All your emotions. It is.
Entraps you with the romance and what things you kind of think you want to happen to you, and things you want but you know you won't get, but you settle for the words. But then there's also an actual story behind it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll read a book that just has smut in it, but when you get books like this that put down what captures these readers, but also gives you a story that keeps you wanting to come back, that's just the cherry.
Yeah.
On top of the smut sundae. Just.
I think what's the most interesting about this series is that Opal Rain, by the way, love her books. She's a great
fabulous author of our generation. Just
like, she has multiple books that even I recognize, like, later, that I have, like, waiting to read. She's amazing. And this first book really shoves you into the world. And her books go over a lot of issues and include a lot of different people and groups. And it's so cool. Like, and it's not just, like, smut or romance. It's story-based. You learn things. Like, I'm reading through the book and going, oh, no, she didn't. There's no way she did that. Like, I am impressed with how much story there is for a book series that I thought was just going to be mostly smut. Like, I was going into this thinking, oh, this is, like, going to be weird. Like, I was recommended this book by someone who reads only smut. Now, that's what I was thinking, was that this was going to be really dirty. This was going to be a little weird. I misjudged it so hard. And I'm in love with this book. It is great. And I don't want other people to judge it based on its weird little cover, okay?
No, this is truly one of those times where you say do not judge a book by its cover, because...
Yeah, or the fan art, because, oh my god!
Well, let me say this. Any type of book, movie, TV show, even music can have some raunchy fan art. You can make raunchy fan art out of anything.
Yeah.
But this is truly a great story to read. It has, I think, every element that you could want for. But I do think that people look at the cover and go, it's just one of those smut books. But it's not. It's a very, very good read.
Like, I promise you, you will love it. And it's great. And then speaking of books, and because it's almost Valentine's Day, and because we're coming up on Friday the 13th here, there's a book coming out called Valentine's Sleigh by Nevessa Allen, who I brought up earlier. And
oh boy.
I'm going to read the snippet as well. And when I read the back of the book, I was so excited. And they're still teasing it. I don't know if it's out yet. Don't quote me on this.
No, someone quote him, please. I want to see someone quote him, please.
I think these are very short novellas. So,
love a good one.
And obviously this is from the author of Lights Out.
Which, if you don't know, you should really go and read that whole series.
Yes.
Pick a weekend where you have nothing to do and no one to see or talk to, because that will keep you occupied, and you will not want to see anyone after reading these books.
It's Lights Out, Caught Up, and Game On. And trust me, these books are chef's kiss. I feel like I said this. Please read them. Here's
if you have nothing to do on Valentine's weekend, we're giving you something to do now.
Please do it. This says, roses are red, violets are blue. Emma's not dead, and her grave digger's hot too. This Valentine's Day, love claws its way out of the grave in #1 New York Times best-selling author Nevessa Allen's steamy and hilariously dark rom-com. Louisiana gravedigger Noah Evans' Valentine's night shift takes an unexpected turn when his high school crush starts screaming from her freshly dug grave. Whoever tried to bury Emma 6 feet under is in for a nasty surprise. They should have checked for a pulse, because she's got unfinished business. And starting with the hot gravedigger who just saved her life, as they unearth a deadly family conspiracy, Noah and Emma discover that old flames burn even hotter the second time around, especially when someone's trying to kill them.
Wow. I need her to write my obituary, because this woman does it all. And if you know what I'm talking about, compared to Lights Out, this is very more camp comedic.
Yes.
But it's perfect.
And I just want to say, because I don't want to just talk about Nevessa Allen, there are 5 other authors. This is a series, and it's a collaboration between her and 5 others. Nevessa Allen, I actually don't know how to pronounce that second name. I'm so sorry, and I'm not even going to try. But if you can see on the screen who these people are, you should go and check it out. If you do not, just go look up Valentine's Sleigh, and it will come up with the other 5 books. And honestly, I'm going to give all 6 of these a read at some point. They're all on my TBR, and I think this will be so much fun.
You got A Play for Love, Accidentally Yours, Second Act Romance, Death to Valentine's Day in true... Time Will Tell?
Yep, that's
Time Will Tell.
And I'm so excited for all of them, but especially Nevessa Allen's. Which, by the way, you should go read all her books. Because before she wrote Lights Out, she actually wrote other books, like Snowed In. And I don't think a lot of people know that about her, that she was actually going to give up writing. And then she wrote Lights Out, and it popped off. Everyone loved it. And she is such a sweet woman. I think everyone needs to go and look at her books.
I mean, I think it really goes to show that anyone is capable of anything. Like,
yeah.
To think that this woman was about to give up something that she is now successful for is mind-blowing.
Yeah, and now look at her. She's coming out with a new book with 5 other successful writers. And it is beautiful how far she's come.
It's just mwah. Chef's kiss to her. Chef's kiss to everyone working on that project with her.
Yes.
Wish them nothing but success, because they truly deserve it. They are the authors that separate literature from fan fiction, you know?
Yeah.
It's like anyone can write fan fiction, but to make it a real story underneath all that is just perfect.
Oh, I know. I've heard some rumors that Lights Out might be getting a movie. Or a show.
Right. I think it is a show, and I believe Amazon is obviously, I would hope so. I mean, Amazon is producing it.
And I think there's another one that I may be mistaking it for, which I think is Twisted Love, I think is getting a movie. Don't quote me on that. That might be a book review for another time. Love that series.
I mean, honestly, they all should get their own adaptations. I mean...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, after Heated Rivalry came out, everyone is
no
just...
No spoilers. I have not even read the book.
Are you still... Oh my god.
I have... Okay, listen. I have Game Changer, and Heated Rivalry is on the way. So, we're almost there, and then I can continue. And then I can read and watch the show, you know? Give me time. I'm still reading my Duskwalker series, okay?
I know what someone's doing this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, as we know, Saturday is Valentine's Day. So, Garrett.
Yes.
Do you like Valentine's Day?
I used to hate Valentine's Day. I always thought, oh, I know. Oh, blasphemous.
Garrett hates love. Garrett hates love.
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't say that.
You only like smut.
You know what? Listen, I used to hate it because, I don't know. I thought that, because in high school, Valentine's Day was huge, and walking around, and everybody was shoving like their love in your face, and I was like, I hate this. This sucks. But now it's like, this is what we need. It's such a weird time in our lives right now, and it's like, oh my god, Valentine's Day is here. Wow! Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that.
Valentine's Day is here, so you become Toad from Mario Kart. I get what you mean, though. I think Valentine's Day at school compared to like when you're an adult and Valentine's Day comes around is completely different.
Yeah.
I think during school it's very in your face, but when you're an adult you kind of miss that, because if there's no one there to initiate for you, you don't really receive that same like in your face. Yeah.
And it, listen, I'm not dating anyone. I'm a single guy. Not
what? Psh, you
me, yeah. But I have a friend whose birthday is, because her birthday is the 16th, So we're celebrating, I guess, on Valentine's Day. So good for her. Love it. That'll be fun. And
I mean, are you looking for a relationship, or?
I don't know. I would be happy if I found someone. But if I'm honest, I'm happy where I'm at. I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody.
I've got my books.
I got my books, and that's all I need.
I'm dating Nevessa Allen, guys. That's the only girl for me.
It's actually Orpheus. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, currently, not really. I think if something happens and comes around, it happens. It's natural. Whatever.
Yeah, you're not going to force anything.
Yeah, I'm not actively looking for a relationship, but
if it happens to come and kick you in the behind,
yeah,
you might look back and be like, "Hey, was that for me?"
I'm not good at picking up signals. Signals.
I'm not good at picking up single people.
I'm not good at signals or single people, apparently. It's true though. If I go into a bar and someone flirts with me, I'm not gonna fucking know that they're flirting with me. I'm gonna be like, "What? Wow! Oh my god! I've done it. It sucks." And then it's like, they were flirting with you, and I'm like, "Really? They were flirting with me that whole time? I had no idea."
That is probably the most awkward thing to happen, is when someone has to point out to you, "Hey, they were flirting or checking you out, right?" And then you're like, "Really?"
I had a friend who actively flirted with me, and she called me baby one time, and I was like, "Aw, thank you, thanks, babes." And then I didn't realize till later that was them flirting and not just them being, and I'm like, "Oh, wow." Whoops. Maybe I should have said something. I didn't. I thought they were just being nice. I'm terrible at signals, so I don't see a future relationship unless someone flat out tells me that they want a relationship with me, because I'm not ever going to figure it out. I don't like puzzles for a reason. You gotta tell me what the answer is. Oh my god.
You're like that old school, "Do you like me, yes or no?" But even then, I feel like you'd be like, "What does this mean?" You make your own box, baby.
I like waffles.
Oh my god.
I like going to the movies. I have no idea. I guess I do. What does even mean? What kind of are we talking about? You gotta tell me what you mean straight up, or else I'm gonna be confused.
Okay, it says the common uses of to enjoy or appreciate.
Yeah.
To compare or resemble. As a filler. To express a feeling or desire. Or as a noun.
There's a lot of uses for the word so, tell me which usage you are using so I know. Because I won't fucking know. I'm terrible at that.
You really are.
You could tell me that you don't like waffles, and I'd be like, "What kind?" Pancakes or the square ones.
Oh my god.
Do you just not like waffle mix, or what is it? Can I use pancake mix to make your waffles?
God. So do you have a worse Valentine's Day or a worse date?
Don't ask me about my worst date, bro. Because we both know my worst date. I think.
I know my favorite date you've been on.
Yeah, you know what? We make jokes about it all the time. I'm not going to say his real name. I'm going to call him Dean. That's closest to the name that his real name, you know? Dean.
Yeah, the guy from Supernatural, everyone. Yeah, Dean.
He tapped on my head and sang in German. But, like, not just sang in German. Like, it was, like, German metal. And then he asked me if I liked it, and I said no. It was the weirdest date I had ever been on. And it was the middle of the night. And honestly, it wasn't the worst date I had been on. It was the weirdest. If we're going to talk worst dates, I could name a few people. Olive Garden is the worst place to go on a date. I will say that much.
Really?
Yeah. Well, especially if you're lactose intolerant like me.
Oh, well, yeah.
And then, you know, especially with the kind of people I was dating at the time, like, most of them were, like, loud and, were very outgoing. So when you're going into a quiet restaurant to have a lunch date with a man who screams and yells, it's not fun.
No, it's not pleasant.
I remember sitting at the table and he just loudly went, "Give me the money!" And everyone went quiet and looked at us. And I went, "Please. Please, I want to go home."
Wait, so, okay. Now that you're saying it, I've also had a bad date at Olive Garden.
Oh. What is it with Olive Garden dates?
I don't know. Like, maybe it is just a place you go to for, like, lunch. Like,
yeah.
The date. I don't know. Like, it was one of those things where we were dating, and I was already in a bad mood because of what they did the day of. And then they, like, refused to get a job, so they had no money, so I had to pay for everything, and yeah, it's just...
You know, I think there's the lesson learned here is that do not go to Olive Garden for a date. It is asking for trouble.
It's like a curse of Olive Garden, like...
There's like another curse for writers, like, where people get hurt all the time. I don't know what it is. I've heard it around. It's the same thing. Don't go to Olive Garden for dates. And you're going to have the worst experience of your life, either during or after. You're going to find out that you're lactose intolerant at Olive Garden. Oh, God. It's like, that's the kind of thing that's going to happen to you. I remember after that date that I had at Olive Garden, they gave us these little chocolates. And the guy that I went on a date with, he got in my car. And, like, imagine that, you know, this is my old car. It was a Lexus, and the floors were carpeted and not, like, plastic. And didn't have, like, actual floorboard covers, like the plastic covers. He dropped this melted piece of fucking candy into my floor and stepped on it and rubbed it into my floor. And I had a permanent, like, chocolate stain in my floor. And when people would get in, they'd be like, "Is that poop?" No! It's chocolate that my ex-boyfriend rubbed into my carpet.
It was Dane from Supernatural.
This was actually, this wasn't, what did I say his name was? Dean?
Yeah.
Not Dean. This was actually, I'm gonna call him, his name starts with an A. You know him.
Alan?
Let's call him Alan. But yeah, you know who I'm really talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll call him Alan.
Alan dropped a piece of candy in my floorboard and rubbed it into my floorboards. And I was so mad. And he was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no.
That sounds like Alan, though.
I'm like, I'm taking you fucking home. Please.
Way to go, Alan. You ruined the night.
Yeah, I took him home and, like, I tried to clean it out. But for some reason, like, the fucking chocolate from Olive Garden is, like, so god-awful.
What?
It just stained my floor forever. Like, it was
I thought you
always
meant taste.
there.
I'm like, well, we're gonna have to disagree.
No,
it
no,
does stain. It does stain.
It stains. Like, it's like, why does the chocolate have dye in it? What's going on? It, like, dyed my floorboard brown in that one spot. It looks like someone, like, pooped there and then, like, stepped in it. My poor car went through hell. Someone threw up in my floorboards on a date. Okay, that's the worst date. That was the worst date. I'm afraid of vomit. I'm afraid of people throwing up around me, hearing it. It's awful. I can't watch a lot of, like, movies or shows that involve it. I have to skip past those parts.
I think it's so funny that vomit's a no for you, but you watch all the Terrifier movies. That just...
Yeah, okay. You know what?
But no, I'm going to draw the line at vomit. Chopping off someone's head, though, I'm all here for that. But you try to show me vomit chunks, no, sorry, sir, I'm out.
Like, can't do it. And, like, okay, we need another S name.
Sid.
You know what? No. Oh, no, let's just call him Sid. But, I was gonna say he kind of looked like if you could imagine, Humpty Dumpty. But, like, from, hold on, from Puss in Boots. Specifically, the Puss in Boots movie. That one. That Humpty Dumpty. Like, his face is identical to the Humpty Dumpty guy.
Oh my god.
Like, I have pictures of them side by side. I used to make fun of him for it. Because he looked exactly like him. And he hated it, but we always thought it was hilarious. So I'm gonna call him Sid. But
wait.
Yeah, that's him! That's my ex! Oh my god, look at him!
I just pulled out the picture of Humpty Dumpty from the Shrek movie.
Is it a Shrek movie or is it Puss in Boots? I don't remember.
No, sorry, it is Puss in Boots, but like it has him on Wiki Shrek.
Oh my god. Well, I guess he's part of the Shrek universe, so that's okay.
Yeah, oh my god, no, but like especially that facial
yeah,
that's
you knew him. You knew him, so you know that's what he looked like. Okay, cool. Sid, he and I went on a date in the park. It was nice. It was like a little art date. We had our sketchbooks and some paint, and we were doing multimedia. And then finally we got kind of tired and we went and got in the car, and he was sitting there and I made a joke, and then he started coughing. I'm like, ew. And then he turned towards me and started gagging, and I went, no! And I took his face and I pushed it with my finger away from me, and then he threw up into my floorboards. Bitch was planning to puke into my lap.
He yoked it all over your car.
Yes, he did. And then we didn't have anything to clean it up with. That was the worst part. So he used the blanket that we laid on to clean it up. And then I found out later, after I broke up with him, because it turns out it wasn't his blanket. I thought it was his. I had to return it to the person who owned it originally, and it smelled awful. I'm like, this is the blanket that he used to clean up his vomit. Did he never wash it? He never washed it. Yeah. Worst date ever. That is tops everything else I have ever said.
Oh, no.
Like, I've had awkward dates, I've had bad dates, but the worst date I've ever had is when
It was with Humpty
Sid,
Dumpty.
it was Mr. fucking Humpty Dumpty throwing up in my car and then cleaning it up with a blanket that wasn't even his, and then he never washed it. Are you kidding? Exactly. He was the most nasty motherfucker I had ever dated, and I can't believe I almost married that. Remember that? Oh my god.
We both almost married the wrong people.
Yeah. Engagement trip was planned and everything. Was gonna take him out to, what was it, Emerald Bay. Had the rings. It was all set up, and then
I was so heated at you when I found that out.
Yeah.
By the way, when I say I almost married the wrong person, I meant we were coming up with a future together. This mother effer, on the other hand, had rings, dates picked out, locations. I was so mad.
Like, we were, like, him and I sit together, we're working on, like, venues, like, for later. Because, like, he knew I was going to propose soon. He just didn't know when. And it was a week before the trip when everything went to hell. And I broke up with him. And I'm so glad I did. Who knows where I'd be right now?
Because you know how awkward that would have been for me to stand up at your wedding saying, I object. Like...
I object to this fucking wedding.
I have an inquiry.
Like,
Garrett, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah.
I just stuff you in my trunk and drive off. Oh my god.
Like, what are we doing here? I thought you fucking broke up with this guy. Like, and I think that's the funniest part, is that I can't believe I almost married that. Oh my god. And luckily, I got a return on the rings, but then I spent all that money on ice cream to make myself feel better and cat food. I don't have a cat. That doesn't make any sense. I used to feed stray cats. And so I spent all my money to feed this stray cat and eat ice cream while I did it.
Oh, you should have just left it as I just bought cat food. Didn't have a cat though, but just
Didn't have a cat though.
All my money.
Spent all my money on cat food. I could tell I have a lot of bad stories, but like specifically that date was the worst. Like, we went on a lot of little dates, and some of them were fun, you know, some were cool. That was the worst date I had ever been on.
You almost married Humpty Dumpty. How do you feel about
that? I don't know. You know, it wasn't about, like, how he looked. It was about, like, his personality. But, like, that wasn't so great either. So,
no, he was Humpty Dumpty. He was innocent in the beginning, and then at the end, we saw his true villainy, okay?
He was literally Humpty Dumpty.
He was a bad egg. He was a bad egg.
Are we sure he's not actually Humpty Dumpty in disguise? Do we? Like, what do we do about that? Sometimes I wonder where he's at in life. And I hope he remembers that date as well as I do. And that he's embarrassed of himself.
Considering he didn't wash vomit out of a blanket, I doubt he has any sense of remorse or guilt.
Well, his family does, but he doesn't. His mom's a sweet woman, by the way. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Humpty Dumpty's mother.
She looks like the lady from... Have you ever seen the Uber Eats commercial? The one where, like,
don't. Oh, God.
So they're all dancing? She looks like the salad lady. Like, identical to the salad lady. I think that's the funniest part about all this. You know, I could go on and on about them. But that is my worst date. I think the lesson is do not date Humpty Dumpty. He's not a very good man. He's actually really guilty of whatever he did.
He's a bad egg. Is the moral.
A very bad egg. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh. I hear you laughing at me on the other side. That's the best part. Is that it deserves a laugh, because how did I date Humpty Dumpty and then be like, I could marry this man?
It's funny now after so many years, but during everything, it was very serious.
Yeah, during it all, it was very bad. It was very serious. But now I can laugh about it and be like, I can't believe I dated Humpty Dumpty. And I almost fucking married him. And, like, I was gonna propose to him, and oh my god, I can't believe that shit.
But you know, that's unfortunately part of being an adult and growing up, is realizing what you could have done to your life. So
yeah. Well, you know what? 5 years not married. 6 years now, actually. 6 years not married, and I'm so happy for it. Damn, it's been 6 years?
Happy anniversary!
Oh my god, I've been single for 6 years. Holy shit. Thank you. In high school, I dated so many people. Like, I was always testing the waters. I liked
you tested a lot of different kinds.
Well,
pond water, chlorine water.
All the water was weird in their own ways. There was some that I would say were good. It just didn't work out between me and them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just didn't. And, like, I respect those people, and a lot of those people are still in my life. And, like, again, shout out to them. They're great. Love them.
But more importantly, shout out to you, Salad Lady. You've earned it.
Thank you, Uber Salad Lady.
You know what?
You changed my life.
We need it one more time. This is for you.
She deserves a nice round of applause.
Well, I guess going to our last segment before we say goodbye is our super spooky ghost segment. So I've only just now seen the show. Apparently, you've seen it before. I thought it was new, because it said new on Netflix. Apparently, it's not new. It's old. But it's called... I was very misled. Thank you, Netflix. It's called 28 Days Haunted. Anyone who doesn't know, it's about 3 separate paranormal teams that spend 28 days in a haunted location with the purpose to test out the Warrens' theory of increased spiritual activity. You cannot pay me to spend 28 days in a haunted location.
You know what? You could pay me to do that. I would do that in a fucking heartbeat.
Garrett, someone could tell you to go in that building and stay there, and you'd be like, okay.
You could tell me to do fucking anything, and I'd be like, yeah, what's up? I'll do that. It depends on how much money I'm getting.
I could just throw say there's a slushie in there. You're like, okay, let me go.
Like, for $5, stay in this house for 28 days. $5? $5?
And there's a camera you get to play with.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. I'm going to film myself doing all kinds of fun things. And then there's, like, I won't even notice the ghost. I'll just be there and be like, and, like, I'm reading this book. And then there's just, like, a guy standing behind me. I have no idea he's there.
You start a ghost book club.
Like, do you want to read with me? Here's your book.
So I know you said you've seen it before, but I don't know how much of it you remember.
I don't remember much. Maybe it's like they took the old season down and that this is a new season.
I don't know, but I think what I liked most about it was there was 2 mediums at 2 different locations. And obviously, given their ability, they could, like, see things that other people couldn't and, like, communicate differently. At the Baron Inn in Madison Dry Goods Store, they were almost kind of solving the crimes that happened at these 2 different locations. So that was kind of neat to see, because most ghost shows, they go there to capture evidence. These people were actually there, and they ended up trying to, because I should have said, when they go to these locations, they have no idea where they're going, and they don't get to read anything about it. So they were literally trying to unfold the story of these locations, but because there was 2 mediums, they could actually, no kidding, see what happened. So they ended up trying to, like, solve what happened. Because one of the locations, the dry goods store, apparently a father murdered his entire family. So they were, like, communicating with, like, I guess we'll call it, like, a demonic entity that possibly took over the father, that influenced him to kill his entire family. And then the Baron Inn, apparently an alleged serial killer, did some of his murders there, but he was never found, and I think some of the bodies were never found, and they actually discovered where the killer hid from cops, and they actually found a news article the killer hid in his hidey hole, where he was, like, keeping track of what the media was saying about him.
Man.
Which is crazy to even communicate with the spirit, but to, like, kind of unsolve something that happened in the past. Yeah. Like, we're talking, like decades ago. So, sometimes you wish you had that ability, but then to see what it does to people and to know that you can never turn it off, it's very scary.
Yeah. And to be there again for 28 days and do this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Be in a house with all that is terrifying. Like, as much as I joke that I would be there and stay in there, I would not.
Well, one of the rooms that the participants was in, they found out that's where a girl was murdered.
Yeah.
So, you find that out, and you have to, no kidding, stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, no one was forced to stay. They really wanted to do the experiment, but it's just the thought of, like, I'm sleeping where this woman was killed.
Yeah, like, that's terrifying. It's like how, I don't know if you know this, what's her name? The lady with the axe.
Oh, Lizzie Borden?
Yes. The house has been turned into, like, almost like an Airbnb. People can rent to stay there overnight.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of paranormal teams going there to investigate, but again, I like that they preserved a lot of things, but it is odd just to think about, where do I want to go for my holiday? Oh, I'm going to go stay at the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah. Like, let me just go hang out where a woman murdered her entire fucking family.
Oh, someone died in this room? I'm just going to sleep on their bed.
Like, I don't know if you hear this, but my dog is starting to bark at nothing. As we're talking about this, what the fuck was that? I love that as we're talking about this, I heard
I feel like this always happens to one of us, like...
I heard, like, running, and, like, now the dog is, like, looking up the stairs.
Well, your house has always been haunted, so let's...
Yeah, but, man, I'll have to, if we ever come onto the ghost subject again, I'll have to find some of our most notable ghost photos that we've ever took. Oh, wait, you know what? I probably can pull up. Do you remember that ghost tour we went on last summer?
Yes. So, for those who don't know...
and I took that photo.
Garrett and I, whenever we go somewhere, we try to find ghost tours. And we found one in Sacramento. Well, first of all, that's a story in itself, trying to find out where the tour began.
Why don't you tell that while I look for this photo?
Okay, so downtown Sacramento, it's dusk. We don't know where we are, but we do know where we are. The point is, we're not there enough to know the layout. And they gave you instructions on how to find your tour guide. They say, look for this person with the lantern and meet them on the corner of so-and-so. So we get there early, as anyone does, especially if you have OCD like me. We get there like almost 30 minutes early. And we're trying to find this street. Can't find it at all. Try calling the place. No one answers. I try emailing someone. Apparently, it was linked to a different ghost tour. And we're trying to text our tour guide, who also was running late, which is fine because we didn't know where we were. And we probably walked a few good miles trying to find this street. And you might think, that's not too bad. Well, we went across a giant bridge to the other side of this city because we thought, oh, we must be on the wrong side. So we're hightailing it. Mind you, we both have bad asthma. Garrett probably has the worst out of the two of us, but we have asthma. And I'm trying to lead the pack, and I'm leaving Garrett behind left and right because I'm afraid we're going to miss this tour. Meanwhile, Garrett's just trying to survive the night. We end up being 15 minutes late to this tour. And they said, oh, just catch up with us. I have to start it. No problem. So we go all the way back to the other side across this bridge. Well, they say, we're at the first location. We jogged to the first location. Oh, we're already past it. We almost joined a random tour guide and almost got in the group picture because we didn't know what we were doing. I'm freaking out. I'm screaming. Poor Garrett's just trying to catch a breath, and I'm just yelling at things we cannot control. We finally find our tour, and we're able to join. But let me tell you, was it worth it? Maybe, because now we have a good story. But let me just say, at the time, didn't seem like it.
No, and also, to kind of add to this, we had just been in Tahoe, and I mistakenly did not put any sunscreen on my back, and we had just been swimming, and I had the worst sunburn you could possibly get. In fact, I had sun poisoning.
Yes.
So I'm running around with a sunburn on my back, and my shirt is chafing it. And then at the end of this tour, I actually, when we started Boardwalk, I don't know if, I think I fell like twice.
You kind of tripped, but when Garrett no kidding ate dirt, fell straight down. And there's so many bars where we were, I think some people just thought you were drunk. Because if we were at any other place, people would have been like, oh my god, are you okay? Everyone's just walking like it's normal. Like you did kind of topple over like a tipsy person, but they probably thought you were drunk because you fell hard, you ate dirt, you fell right on your sun poisoning, like it
was bad. Was not great. Don't recommend it. I think the lesson that has been learned here is do not fall in Sacramento.
Or to put sunscreen on when there's sun out.
Yeah. Okay, I'm pulling up the images here.
Oh.
I don't actually know where I took this photo. And she said specifically, take pictures when you feel something. And I looked up and I just remember feeling like I was being watched. And when I zoomed in, this is what I see. Now, this is the darker photo, and I kind of put a red circle around it. It's almost impossible to see it.
You have to get very close.
But it looks
unfortunately
like there's two eyes. But because of that, I actually lightened up the image while we were sitting here talking. So I do have one that's lighter. I don't like this photo. You can clearly see that it looks like there's two eyes and like a face.
Yeah, there's like two
looking
dots.
Back. And I hate it. And this is one of the most compelling pieces that I was able to catch when we were on this ghost tour. I think the rest of it was mostly us just trying to catch our breath and trying to enjoy it. We were really mad.
Yeah,
and tired.
It wasn't the tour guide's fault at all, but at the end of the night, yeah, we kind of felt like we robbed ourselves of half the experience because it's one of those tours that's pretty quick. And unfortunately, we missed like the first two locations.
Yeah.
So as soon as we found the tour, we spent half the time catching our breath, trying to listen to the stories, but we both were just looking at each other like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we had to then drive back to our hotel that we were staying at, and like, I had to shower again. Like, it was the worst. But
yeah,
now I can enjoy the fact that we actually went on this tour and we actually learned something. I'm just disappointed we didn't go in the Sacramento tunnels.
Yeah, so we didn't even have a day in Sacramento. We had basically dusk and night. And we didn't know that some of the attractions in downtown Sacramento were through different tours at different hours, and unfortunately we thought the tour did the tunnels, which is one of the most haunted parts of Sacramento, but turns out they don't. So we unfortunately couldn't do that, and we couldn't even do it the next day because I had to fly out.
Yeah.
But part of me was kind of glad, because as soon as she said that there were actual people that sometimes make their way down there, I was kind of like, oh, I can deal with supernatural, but if I see a real person, ooh.
Yeah, like it's... But I think there is a tour that you can do in Sacramento that allows you to go down in the tunnel, but it's a historic one, rather than a haunted tour. In fact, I think the tour guide on that gets really mad if you bring it up. Because she's like, this is historic, not a haunted tour. Like, I've heard stories about the tour guide for that, and that she's like, she kind of, he or she, whoever, I don't know, can be kind of weird about it. Like, she doesn't want to talk about it.
That is odd. That is very odd.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, ghost tours are really cool, but I feel like Sacramento's ghost history isn't as extensive above ground, unless you're going to the Queen's Mary Hotel or something, or like whatever it is. I don't remember at this point. I was so tired on that trip.
It was very exhausting at the end.
I have pictures of that sunburn, and I'm looking at them, and it's just a reminder. My back still looks like that. My whole back has like scarring, basically, like burn marks from where I got sunburned.
Yeah, there's a curse. Garrett always gets sun poisoning at Tahoe, and I always get sick coming back. So
it's the curse, unfortunately, but that's just how it is.
It's just what we do.
But I think it's not one of the scariest experiences that we've had, because we've done our own little ghost hunting. I don't know if you remember that. On that old camera.
We thought that we were the junior ghost adventures of our time. We truly believed that we could do what they did, and I would hear the first snapping of a twig and I would start running. So
yeah, we went down not that far from my house, or I guess my old house, and we heard running, and then I think the most strange piece of evidence was that I was filming, and I think we were a little bit bored because nothing had happened for a while, and we were kind of hungry, and I was holding a stick, and I found a rope, and I had tied it to the stick, and I was playing around thinking I was being real funny, and I think I said, I don't know what this is though, and seconds after, you hear this sound, and we both react to it. We turn around, and I was like, I thought that was my neighbor. And when we went back and listened to it, it was a clear voice saying rope, like it was telling me what it was. And I think that was the scariest piece of evidence we got. And then when we went back later to film, when the sun kind of started to set, the moon was in the sky, and I kept trying to film it, but every time I put the camera up facing the moon, it said that the footage was corrupted and it wasn't filming, or that the battery was dying, and the rest of the footage that we took later that day was corrupted. I hated that. I hated it. That's all it is. I hated it.
Yeah, I need to get you over here because I'm not super close to it, but we have the Mansfield prison here.
Yeah.
One of my friends actually did the night ghost tours.
Oh.
And she said they're pretty worth it. And I honestly feel like sometimes there are some haunted locations you can see during the day, but I feel like if you really want to experience something, you have to go at night.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of those places.
I think that would be fun, and that's something we need to put on our to-do list of when we go and do this ghost tour.
Mm-hmm.
If that is something we want to do, I feel like that would be fun. It just kind of depends. Do we really want to go to the prison?
I mean, I kind of do. That's where Shawshank was filmed.
Really? Wait a minute. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh,
let me see.
I didn't make that noise.
Yeah. There were 10 different filming locations in the area for...
See, I didn't know that. That's crazy that they filmed there.
Yep.
This is gonna sound really dumb, and this is a little off topic, but it's speaking of filming locations. I didn't realize that the sets to The Wizard of Oz were fake. I, all these years, thought that they filmed this movie outside. I didn't know that it was a painted set, and that they did this indoors.
I'm just trying to let this process real quick in my mind.
Hey, I was a kid. I didn't know. And I only just recently rewatched The Wizard of Oz right before our summer trip. And I realized that it was all done indoors with a painted set and a built set.
I'm still letting it sink in.
Yeah.
Okay, it's sunk in. Okay, I think that's it. That is a good signing off point. Garrett did not know The Wizard of Oz was filmed on sets.
I thought it was filmed outside, like with a built set, but like it was filmed inside. Oh no.
Yes, join us next week and maybe we'll learn about more movies that Garrett thought were filmed outside and not on set.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well, I hope everyone enjoys a lovely Friday the 13th. And if you don't have someone to spend Valentine's Day with, that's okay. You always have your books.
Yeah. Enjoy those books.
Enjoy that smut. All right, bye.
Goodbye.